My name is Vera Nkumasi at College of Distance Education, and if you want to reach me, you reach me by my email address. After completing this session, you should be able to define and explain the concept of education and explain at least 3 contexts within which education is used. Originally, education is from a Latin word educare, which means to bring up. Educare meaning to bring out, or to bring forth from within, or to bring out potential, and educare, which means to lead. It means that after receiving education, education brings out what is hidden in you, and after receiving education, this hidden potential should come up. Philosophically, Peters defined education as the transmission of something worthwhile from generation to generation. Something worthwhile. In education, we don't just teach or transmit anything. After you have been educated, you have to have something good in you. That means education has transmitted something relevant to the individual. Dewey also defines education as the reconstruction and reorganizing of experiences, which adds to the meaning of experience and increase the ability to direct the course of subsequent experience. Here, Dewey is looking at education based on experience. Education will help the individual to reorganize whatever experience the person has. Duncan also sees education as a systematic socialization of the younger generation by which they learn their culture of all kinds. Transmitting culture. This is done through socialization. When we teach all the norms and values of the society, like greetings, dancing, drumming, and even eating, you are transmitting the culture of the society. As we go through educational experiences, we should be exposed to the knowledge that will help us to get the advancement to refine our culture through research for improvement in education. Now let's look at education, that's the context of education. We'll first look at education as a process. This means that education lasts for a longer period of time, and one will still be educated whether formally, non-formally, or informally, even till death. That is, education is from cradle to grave. So this means that education begins right from birth until one dies. Even after school, you will still learn until you die. That's education as a process. Now, education as an activity. Education is seen as one of the activities in the society, which is geared towards a purpose. The educational activities are organized and systematic. As one goes through educational experiences, he or she is required to undergo certain activities such as training, initiating, indoctrination, and instructing. These activities can be linked to other activities such as enskinment, enstallment, farming, and all other activities in the society. Now, education is part of our culture. Education has a way of life and or culture which is acceptable to the educational community in order to prepare the individual for mature life. So education here prepares the individual to fit well into the society. Education is a subject of discipline. Here, education is seen as a subject of discipline or study, like mathematics, science, English, and all that. Education has its own accumulated knowledge. This means that education can be used as a discipline or subject to be studied just like any course. Education involves ideas. It puts together the form of subjects of study, like we have already explained, English, maths, principles, and this very particular subject that we are looking at, principles and practice of education. So that makes it a subject or a discipline. Education is also seen as a product, and this simply means that certain attitudes and characteristics must be seen in you after you have been educated. For example, if you go through a medical school, at the end of it all, we expect the individual to be a doctor. In the same vein, if you go through a teacher training college, at the end of your education, you should be a teacher. Still under context of education, education is seen as an institution. Specialized agencies aimed at performing specialized functions are called institutions, and education is one of them. Education as an institution helps in training and providing the right caliber and quantum of manpower and inculcating problem-solving abilities into learners. Education as a tool for problem solving. Education must serve as a problem-solving strategy to solve the problems of the society. Here, it means that anyone who receives education gets skills to solve problems in the society. But we come to the end of Unit 1, Session 1.